welcome to the highlights of a special one-day international match here at the border ground in Guyana. West Indies versus England. Of course, this should have been the fifth and final day of the second test match, but all we've seen here in Georgetown is rain and more rain, and what a mess this ground has been in. We've had lakes, we've had floods, we've had all sorts of mopping up operations, and daily we've come to inspect. But in the end, we've gone to fill the time in with soccer and swimming and all sorts of indoor games. But at last we have cricket. Jeff Dujon will captain the West Indies side in place of Viv Richards. Let's join them in the middle now. He's tossing up with Graham Gooch.
I can't buy much from It's sales it is. Here we are. Oh, another one of those. Another let you know.
You have a bat.
We'll have a bat.
Okay, Jeff. Good luck, Jeff. Can we just have a quick word? Did you win the toss?
Yes, we did.
And what's happening?
That's great to have a bat.
You're captain today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, what's the shape of your side? What's wrong with Viv?
Well, he isn't feeling too well. Hasn't been for a couple of days, so we decided that, since there isn't really that much at stake in this game, that he'd take a rest and just in case,
Right. And the other newcomers?
Yes, Clayton Lambert has come in for Desmond, who has a little bit of a back strain. He's a local player, left-hander. And Curtly Ambrose is back in as well. So we have a skeleton crew, but I think we still have a good chance.
Thanks, Jeff, very much. Just have a word with Graham. So what have they done to you this time, Captain?
We're batting again. I'm not calling too well these days, unfortunately, but there we are.
What about the shape of the side? How will you use the match?
It's a one-day international, so we're going out here to win. We got one change in our side from last week. I can't remember when we last played cricket, but it was last Wednesday, I think. Philip De Freitas is not playing, and Robert Bailey's coming. So we brought an extra batsman for this match.
Just one thought about the fitness of the ground. Are you happy about that, Graham?
Yes, it's just about okay. I mean, there's one or two wet patches, but not sufficiently bad enough to stop us playing. And we hope to have a good game today, obviously. We've been hanging around for a week or so. Let's get out there and play.
Best of luck.
Thanks.
So no Richards and no Haynes. The young man Clayton Lambert, he's the local man opening the batting, left-hander with Gordon Greenwich back, and Curtly Ambrose. I wonder if he'll be fit enough for test selection later on. And England still trying to establish that front five batsmen, Gooch, Larkin, Smith, Lamb, Stewart. They'll be looking for runs today, but competition coming in there from Rob Bailey at number 6. Out goes Philip De Freitas. England got off to a quite slow start. We picked them up in the 7th over. They're 13 for no wicket, and Bishop is bowling to Larkins. Lovely high action, driven back on the stumps. Take a look at this action, Jeff.
Well, I think it's fairly reminiscent of Michael Holding. Lovely rhythm, arms going nice and smoothly, head still, very tall man, beautifully delivered. If I was coaching him, I don't think I'd say anything. Just keep going, young man. Plenty of test wickets to come. Great prospect, this young man.
Oh, it's in the air. It's a dolly catch, and Larkins has gone. Aiming to play to the onside, popped it straight up. And we just have one more look at that. You see Larkins aiming to the onside. It sort of came off the thick side of the bat, a dolly catch for Bishop, and the first wicket falls for 13. The new batsman is Robin Smith. Wayne Larkins, after battling away there for a few overs, got just one run. There it is, just 24 degrees. And the humidity quite high on 74%. That's out, caught behind. No, it's not. The umpire, yes, he's given him. Well, it took him quite a long time to give that one out. A very positive appeal there from behind the stumps.
That ball bounced quite a lot. I don't think Robin Smith was expected to bounce quite that high. It just brushed the top of the bat.
So the score now 2 for 8.
Yes, I think a real faint little one, and
a little plead there. I think he definitely thought he was out. Then he got a bit worried, did Dujon. He thought he wasn't going to give him. And then a little sigh of relief as the finger came up. So that's brought Alan Lamb out to the centre. Oh, and what a good ball. Now the question is, did he nick it? And if so, did it carry?
Possibly right in both conditions there, Tony. That seemed as if he nicked it, and that certainly almost did carry.
Miss Gooch still just playing across the line a little bit there. Just carried to Dujon. And that is a lovely delivery from Ambrose. Ezra Mosley will be very keen to produce a good performance here. He won't be trying to bowl too fast. He'll be trying to control the ball, which is the way bowlers tend to go about things in one-dayers. Oh, and what a good delivery. That was a beautiful ball. Looked to me as if it swung away just a fraction and then kept going.
That's the type of ball I was referring to just now, Tony. The ball that leaves the right-hander, pitching just outside the off-stump and just leaving the right-hander. Graham Gooch just pushing, fielding for it.
Oh, and he's beaten him again. What a good over this has been from Ezra Mosley. 2 slips in the gully, and that certainly brought the crowd alive.
Yes, another very good ball here from Ezra Mosley. It was wide of the off-stump, but it left to Graham Gooch again, and as I said before, no foot movement from Graham Gooch.
In the air and wide of slip. Down to the boundary for 4. That would have been a second slip catch, I'd say, just slightly to his right hand. No chance there for Greenwich. It went flying away.
A bit of movement here for Eldine Baptiste just outside the off-stump.
And he's got it away. So Gooch showing a bit of improvisation there, using his feet, getting down and hitting it through mid-wicket for 4.
Well, predetermined this. Graham Gooch looking, if at all possible, to get down the wicket. You've got to have it in your mind that as the bowler lets go of the ball, if it's in your area, you're going to chassé down the pitch and give it a whack.
So here's Alan Lamb, who has got 7, and he comes in to strike from Eldine Baptiste. And he's out caught at cover by Arthurton. Completely missed time, but it's a no ball. Well, Alan Lamb gets the opportunity to bat on.
Well, I think he hit at this, he heard the no ball, the ball didn't bounce, and he hit right at the bottom of the bat. I think he's got it there right on the bottom, and it's just lobbed up, fooled us all for a couple of seconds. Everybody thinking he was out, but he heard the call, he got it very quickly. He's had a real good slug at that, but got it right towards the bottom, almost Q end of the bat, and it's lobbed up very, very gently.
So Gooch 19, 9 to Lamb, 46 for 2 England. They were sent in by Geoffrey Dujon, who's leading the West Indies today in the absence of Richards and Haynes. Just to the left, diving attempt, hurling himself to his left by Clayton Lambert, the new player in the West Indies side, the left-handed opener from Guyana.
I don't really think one could call that a catch. It was a great effort by the fieldsman at Gully, but anybody who really expected him to catch that, I think, is being unfair. Just a brave effort.
He's gone, Best the catcher. So Lamb caught Best, bowled Mosley, and England are 47 for 3 with Lamb gone for 9. So Mosley, who has threatened to have that outside edge clipped on its way to slips, finally gets it, and Best doesn't miss many of those. Good catch, 47 for 3.
Well, this is what I mentioned before about keeping 2 slips to Alan Lamb. He always gives the bowler and the slips a chance. He's flashing at a ball just short of a length, and you don't nick them to Carlisle Best. They're comfortable slip catches.
Ezra Mosley's done really well. He's
been called into the squad. He's just played one-day matches, but he bowled very tidily and not slow either. Now there might be two here. Gooch turns and says no. It's a long throw to the non-striking end. It beats the field, and that's going away for 4 extras, in total 5. Well, that was a really soft touch. Eldine Baptiste, is it down there? Michael Holdings alongside me. I'd rather you be critical of your own men out there.
Yes, that is Eldine Baptiste down at fine leg. He came across. Gooch had attempted the second run. There you goes, Gooch going for the first. Eldine Baptiste coming across, throwing at the bowler's end, but unfortunately there's nobody backing up. Ezra Moser couldn't get across. Ian Bishop couldn't get across either, and there it goes, 4 extra runs.
The local vendors have heard that the game is on, the doors are open, a bit of trade to be done.
Looking for a second, and a good return from Ambrose, but always 2. That was a good bit of throwing by Ambrose, right alongside the stumps.
Yes, it certainly was bang on target, but perhaps not quite quick enough. There's an example of Gooch's problems, playing across the line, and despite the fact that that was a full toss, not able to get it away. Now watch Ambrose here. He gets the ball, and all in one movement whips it back to Dujon. But the batsman just home. But he is working very hard at his game, and he must be one of the players who was extremely frustrated with not being able to practice the way he would have liked.
Brilliant bit of fielding by Clayton Lambert, the new player on this side. He's a native of Guyana, and he certainly is enjoying his first match for the West Indies. 77 for 3. That's a lovely shot. Outfield is slow, so it won't go all the way. Bishop having the opportunity to get around. But that was good improvisation on Gooch's part. So 2 to Gooch. And England move on to 79 for 3.
Gooch certainly moving back a long way to play that shot. He's decided he's going to get on with it now.
Well, he's swept that away now and down towards the boundary, but the outfield, as you would imagine, with the rain we've had here over the past 2 days, is very slow. Good bit of fielding, just for 2 runs for Stewart. Last week would have been 4. So just the sweep around, carrying him into double figures. Now he moves to 10. And he's bowled him. So Gooch trying to improvise, and Hooper hitting the base of the off stump. Gooch bowled by Hooper, again trying to back away and make room for himself to hit it through the offside. And that's the end of Gooch, bowled for 42. 86 for 4 England in over number 31.
Notice that movement away there, and in fact it probably hit middle. Good delivery, that actually, that's the place to bowl. Right up in the block hole, very difficult to play a Yorker from way outside leg stump. So the end of Graham Gooch. He made 42.
He's bowled him. So Stewart bowled in the same way that Graham Gooch was bowled, trying to hit the ball through the offside, giving himself room by moving away to the leg. And England really struggling now, 89 for 5.
And for a young man who really needs all the practice he can get, this is a silly shot. They're not going to get a big score anyhow. They really need Stewart to bat out there. You can see the disappointment. But as far as I'm concerned, that was just a little silly. Hooper using the breeze quite well here. A little bit of drift for him.
Quick single, best the fielder. Well taken. That's the first bit of initiative on quick singles we've seen Bailey just dabbing the ball and calling for the single. He does seem very inclined to pick up those singles.
Oh, what was that? And well, Ambrose is certain. Capel is looking, hanging about. He's given out, and David Capel, the same sort of shot that Robin Smith tried, the little square cut of ball that is bouncing and lifting outside off stump. It's 103 for 6.
That must have been a very thin edge again. The big appeal to the umpire not moving, Ambrose a little bit upset, and then the decision comes.
Well, these umpires twice today have certainly taken their time before the decision comes. Capel looked almost about to leave in embarrassment.
It's been a very frustrating day for the England batsman, and none more so than this young one. I feel really sad for young Bailey. Must be about 6 weeks since he's had a bat in his hand in the middle, and when he gets in the middle, he's got a pitch that's been a little trying and frustrating for the England players.
That's a good shot into the gap. Outfield a little slow. And he did well to stop that because it's quite damp on the edges there, and a mix-up. Well, for a second I thought Russell was coming, and I think Bailey made a good decision.
What a lovely shot this was. Just fluently, just nice and easily through the ball. Doesn't try to hit it too hard, just a firm push in fact, and the ball raced off almost to about 3 yards from the boundary edge.
Got that one away down towards fine leg. Will it get to the boundary? Yes, it will. Very wet down in that area, and you cannot blame Ezra Mosley for not really getting down to that one.
Well, Jack Russell having a little bit of a hike here. It slips off the face, and the fieldsman runs round there as Jack swipes at it, gets some bat on it, as they say, in these last few overs. The fielder running after it, a little bit gingerishly, and I think he does right to let the ball go.
But it's well fielded, and this could be out. No, he's missed the stumps. That was a magnificent bit of fielding there by Mosley. It's not easy to stop and grab the ball and then shy back at the stumps like this.
Wonderful cricket that. Sticks out his hand, athletic fielding, and my goodness me, he would have been run out, not run out by a yard and a half. Hits it, jabs it into the ground, runs. Oh, wonderful fielding.
Certainly very agile. Ezra Mosley again. That's a lovely shot over the top, down towards the deep mid-wicket boundary for 4. So little Jack Russell, who's played so well on this tour, smashing that one over the top.
Yes, he's a very impish character here. He's decided he's going to hike him over mid-wicket. He's almost like Alan Knott Jr. Alan Knott coached him a lot on his batting, taught him quite a great deal, and taught him how to play the short stuff well by dropping his hands and letting the ball go past chest high. And he's very impish like Knott.
He's got that one away too, down towards third man. I've seen Knotty play that one as well on numerous occasions.
Cheeky, isn't he? A very cheeky little player is Russell. Look at all those hands taped up. Very cheeky, upward cut, over the slips. There's nobody fields up there. There's a lot of space in the air, down to third man. That's an Alan Knott shot. Definitely.
See where he leaves them, but have a look at those gloves. He's got them taped up every which way. They've got to be favourites, haven't they? Anyhow, he's at the non-strikers end. The score 128 for 6 now. Over the top, straight down the ground, and a couple of bounces into the fence. So this will do Bailey's confidence a little bit of good.
This is typical Robert Bailey. Short back lift, full follow through. He's a big tall man, very powerful. He's obviously gained a bit of confidence. The bat doesn't come up too high, watch. It goes straight through there.
That's a good shot. Beautiful straight drive, straight into the fence. Well, that really will be encouraging for Gooch and his fellow selectors. A lovely shot, hit straight down the ground here.
Watch the timing. The bat doesn't get too high, gets just over stump high, but yet it races away. And that's the hallmark of Robert Bailey. Bat there, not too high, swing it through the line of the ball, time the shot. He's a good player, Robert Bailey.
In the air, and what an effort. Full length he went, and he got a fingertip to it. Save 4 for sure.
Well, certainly at our age, Tony Gregg, we wouldn't have been diving for that for sure. It would have been 4 runs. That was a great effort. You can't call that a catch. Wonderful stop for 4, I think that was.
Speak for yourself. He certainly middled it. Really went flying away. He's in the air and just wide that time, a backward point, but he's hit it well enough to hit the fence again. Well, I reckon that Rob Bailey is quietly playing himself into the test side.
Wasn't that a wonderfully executed shot? The improvisation of it, the ball is wide and drifting wider, and he just waited for it to come on, used the pace of the ball, and although it's called a no ball, the umpire, I think Robert Bailey's playing that shot, whether it's a no ball or not. He's let it come right on, used the pace of it, and just cuffed it nice and easily and leisurely, backward of point. Almost the front foot cut, which you hardly ever see in cricket these days. Lovely, lovely shot.
Well, it's in the air and he's out. He's flicked it up just in front of square, and he's been caught at mid-wicket. Carlisle Best, the fieldsman. This is how it happened. He tried to flick it away, hit the base of the bat, straight in the air it went, and straight down the throat of Carlisle Best. And the score now 150 for 7.
I think it's a good effort, but he just doesn't quite get it far enough over the fielder, and it's a simple catch.
Oh, and he's got him, he's out, caught behind. And Curtly Ambrose loves it. That is a thick neck, straight through to the keeper. And so Gladstone Small out for a duck. So that one beats the outside edge, and unfortunately for Gladstone Small, he's out 151 for 8.
Well, Gladstone Small never really, at 2 balls, never really looked as if he was going to play any of them, really. Just sort of playing down Piccadilly, and the ball was down Bakerloo. He was never really in any position to the first ball or that ball to play it. You expect that from tail-enders.
Bailey having a glance down towards mid-wicket there. I think he perhaps recognises that they're going to bowl in at leg stump now, and he's going to have to work out how he's going to score some runs. So there's a gap for him at mid-wicket. If he can get it over the top of the mid-wicket fieldsman, they get 4. Oh, that's a great shot. It's a straight 6. It's in the commentary box. No, it's not. My goodness, what a magnificent hit. Jeff Boycott, I can assure you, is not as good a ducker as he used to be. He was almost in my chair. What a magnificent straight hit.
Watch this. See the bat? It's not very high. Very powerful man. He just gets the bat above stump high, short arm jabs, and that ball disappears very, very powerfully. Good striker of the ball.
Straight back to him. He's out, caught and bowled. And so once again, Ambrose strikes. And that's exactly the sort of thing that can happen at this stage in an innings. A full toss, hits the base of the bat, straight back to him. He is a magnificent catcher of his own bowling. He's got hands, well, they're not really hands, they're buckets. And no problems with that one. Bailey out. It's now 161 for 9. slow start today by England, but a refreshing partnership between Bailey and Russell. From outside off stump through to the wicketkeeper, no wide called, and so that is the end of the England innings, 167 for 9.
Well, the pitch wasn't easy, a little uneven perhaps, but England looked really rusty. Graham Gooch, again, I thought looked vulnerable against the quick bowlers. He was just trying to dominate the spin when he got out, and Alex Stewart happily off the mark after 2 noughts. He also got out to Hooper, trying to drive to the offside. Robert Bailey, of course, his was the success story. His 42 runs, played with great style, gives him a great chance of being selected for the tests. Bailey and Russell put on 47. That was a fine partnership. Now the bowling, the important return here for Curtly Ambrose. He bowled extremely well and got his wickets. 2 wickets for Bishop, who was accurate, and 2 for Hooper. But I thought on the whole the West Indies throwing in the outfield was uncharacteristically untidy. Still, West Indies now require 168 to win this match in 49 overs, the run rate 3.43. Off the mark, Gus Fraser chasing away down there at deep fine leg. Oops, a daisy. 2 runs to Gordon Greenwich, so West Indies open their account. They need 168 runs to win. So he's come back after his own back strain. Also back, Curtly Ambrose, towel around him at the back there. Liam Bishop, who both bowled extremely well again today. Oh yes, good shot. High class. The great thing about players like Gordon Greenwich, they know exactly where the fielders are, almost as if they're computed into his brain.
Well, this is just a little short-arm jab, and the ball disappears. Few bounces, look at that, just little short-arm jab. Picks the bat up slowly and just short little way through, knows where it's going as soon as it hits the bat. There's a confident young man.
And so we have Clayton Lambert, a new name for you. A Guyanese, 28 years old, facing Gladstone Small. Oh! Now he does look like Roy Fredericks.
Well, here's a rush of blood, no need for this. He's played quite solidly and he's just stood there and had a mighty swipe at the ball outside the offside. Really no need for it. He's played quite solidly, took the ball off his legs, sneaked a couple of singles, and that's seen a bit of wild rush of blood.
They hesitate, they go, and misfield.
No, I thought that was a bit sloppy from Alex Stewart, I really did. I thought there was a chance of a run out there. If he'd have picked that up, he's quite a nippy fielder, he's very quick and athletic. He had a great chance there to pick it up. The batsman hasn't got halfway. If he'd have picked it there and thrown, he'd had a chance of running him out by a yard and a half. And I think he'd be very, very disappointed with that.
We have a drama here, Jeff. The official scorers say that West Indies have only 167 to win, not 168. Easy one, and comfortable too. That's a good throw by Alex Stewart. 18 for no wicket. West Indies wanting 167 to win. Well, that was staggeringly brilliant. Extraordinary bit of fielding. Robert Bailey, if anyone has done something to get into a test side, I mean, that was tremendous.
What a dive. What can you say about that? When you've got top scorer of the match for England, you play brilliantly, and then he makes a brilliant stop. That was marvellous stuff.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. They call it a whip shot, and you can see exactly why that's called it. Short of a length, flicked, whipped through mid-wicket. I really have to keep mentioning the name of Roy Fredericks because that's exactly how he played. And obviously Clayton Lambert has taken a lot of Fredericks as his model here in Georgetown.
This is Gladstone Small. Oh, beautiful shot. Vintage Gordon Greenwich. A lovely off drive, straight into the gap. And from the moment it left the bat, it was going to be 4.
I suppose Gordon Greenwich at 38 years old, people might say it's time for him to retire, but not after shots like that. That's the textbook stuff.
You need 167 to win. Which in the circumstances is not too difficult, I shouldn't think. England got off to a very slow start again and then to a degree recovered. Oh, he's got that one away. It's a big one. It's 6. Yes, it is. Over the top and onto the roof. One bounce into a young man's hand up in the Kenny Wishart stand. Don't drop them short to me, says Gordon Greenwich.
Yes, that definitely was a little bit too short of Gordon Greenwich. It wasn't bad as far as the line is concerned because it was somewhere on the mid-stump line. But the length, it was just a little bit too short, and Greenwich loves those.
Magnificent shot. Onto that red roof, and that little guy there took it after it bounced on the tiles. Oh, he's got that one away too, and that'll be 4 as well. And what's more, he nearly took the forward short leg's head off.
Robin Smith at bat pad must be hoping that Captain Gooch moves him very quickly. A pick up there from Gordon Greenwich, whizzing past Robin Smith's head at bat pad.
Yes, that would have been about a foot away, and the crowd really beginning to buzz here now. He's hit that straight down the ground. It's a great shot. 1 bounce 4, I'd say. Yes, into the fence it goes. And that was very well hit. He hit right through the line of that one, way over the top of mid-off, down to the boundary. The score, 44 without loss.
Pitched up to him just outside the off stump, where I thought it would have been the correct place to bowl, but there he goes through the shot, over the top. 4 more runs to Clayton Lambert.
Probably going over the top, I'd say.
Just a little bit too high, I would think. Definitely going over the top.
This is Capel's 6th over. The last ball of his 6th over, in fact. And he's got him. No, he hasn't. He's dropped it. Well, so nearly. Smashed back at him. The score, 45 without loss.
A very close shave here for Gordon Greenwich. Ball well pitched up. Almost. I think if that catch had come to him 2 overs earlier on, he would have taken it. A little bit tired, a little bit weary at this stage of the game.
Yes, he's absolutely exhausted. Well, he's got that one away beautifully. There's a lot of Freddo in that shot too. Smashed it away through the gap on the offside. Now, it's one thing hitting it, it's totally another hitting it into the gap.
Beautifully timed shot here from Clayton Lambert. Up on his toes and smacking it through the offside. Nobody moved.
So there we are, off his feet. And whack. And he smashed that too, right down the ground. It's slow outfield down there. That may not go for 4. A good 9-9, that one. In Jeff Boycott's case, a 3-iron.
Well, Clayton Lambert has no intentions of letting this game last longer than it should. Whenever it's been up, he has gone through with it.
That's in the air, just over the top of mid-off. That was a front edge, actually. He was trying to chip it away. And on goes one of the spectators. I'm not quite sure why. He hasn't scored 50 or 100 yet. And now he's not quite sure. Yes, he is. He's going to give him a drink. No, he's not. Yes, that looks to me like, what do you reckon?
I think it's a $20 bill there, Tony. Apparently he has gone on and given him $20.
He's obviously just won 50. He gave the money to the umpire there. That could be construed in all sorts of ways. Oh, he smashed that. It's a six. It's a magnificent hit into the... Oh, magnificent shot, Clayton Lambert. That's where he tried to hit the one before. That time it went right of the meat of that bat of his and into the crowd.
Up to him again, and as I said before, Clayton Lambert isn't afraid of going over the top. In his pads, over the top, over long on, beautiful shot, 6 runs.
Well, if the runs he scored so far were worth $20, I reckon that was worth another 100. Well, it's 65 without loss, and Gordon Greenwich has just had a little glance down towards the Georgetown Cricket Club Pavilion and the Kenny Wishart Pavilion. Are we going to see a big pull shot for square leg? Yes, we are. Away she goes. 6 magnificent runs. Wow, what a shot.
And you called it, Tony. Gordon Greenwich was looking in that direction a couple of minutes ago. Very first ball of the over, and it went directly there. Again, the line wasn't bad, but the length a little bit too short to be bowling to Gordon Greenwich. 6 runs.
Well, that's the shot that Lawrence Rowe used to play, flat and hard. And I tell you, that didn't go much above 20 foot above the ground, but it easily carried the boundary. Magnificent pull shot.
Well, he's put that away. Very strong off his legs, and there's the example once again. 4 runs down to mid-wicket off Gooch. So 15 overs gone. The West Indies are 79 without loss. Nice shot. Beats the fielder to the boundary. No. Great save. Robert Bailey has had an inspired day today. Made a brilliant save in the field earlier following his 42, a level top score in the England team, and that looked for all the world like 4, and he got his boot to it.
Well, he's having a great day, is Robert Bailey. I mean, this was 4 runs going very, very quickly. He races around, sticks his boot out just 12 inches before it went over the line.
He really has become very cheeky now, Clayton Lambert. The reverse sweep has brought the crowd to life here. Very cheeky shot.
Well, he's so cocky and confident and very cheeky. He's trying all the last ball, now this reverse sweep. Oh dear, he's going to try everything.
Trying to do what Lambert was doing. He might just have got a touch onto that. Ending the over at 85 without loss.
Well, these 2 batsmen here trying to outdo each other with the reverse sweep, and he's making a mess of it but doesn't get himself out. And this is what happens if you try to take too many risks and try to be too clever, try to show up the bowler too much, you're going to get yourself out.
And just having a little afternoon break there. They're on their way perhaps up to the country. He's bowled him. trying that little silly shot that we were talking about, and he was the one to have been made to look silly by Eddie Hemmings in the end. Bowled around his legs, so Clayton Lambert bowled Hemmings 48, and the West Indies have lost their first wicket for 88.
So this is how he lost his wicket. Now, it was his own fault here, taking the mickey out of Eddie Hemmings the previous over, trying something that was not necessary. He was batting so well, and he gave his wicket away himself.
He's got that away, that's 4. He's found the gap. 2 men protecting the leg side boundary, but Greenwich finds the gap between them. A deep backward square leg and a forward square leg. Not a good ball from Gooch.
Well, you can't bowl medium slow and short long ups, and particularly not to West Indian players who are good cutters and pullers.
That's a good shot. Straight back overhead for 4. Great certainty, realizing that there's no man back long off. In fact, the fielder in the orthodox mid-off position.
And back comes Gladstone Small, who's bowled 4 overs so far, a bit expensively, 0 for 21. It's in the air, scored him. Extravagant shot really by Richie Richardson, caught by Capel at mid-off, deep mid-off. It's 105 now for 2. You see the weight on the back foot, never really threw the ball. It was cleanly hit, but straight to the man, and that was well pouched. 105 for 2.
To say that Richie Richardson's foot wasn't to the pitch of that ball would have been an understatement. Right foot planted, left foot nowhere near the pitch. That was bound to go in the air.
Well, it's interesting to see Gordon play this way. I thought that he might get to this 50 with some solid strokes, and here we are. He's been tickling away at these reverse sweeps, and Gordon Greenwich has a half century. Oh, that's a great shot. Well, there you are, kids, if you see that. And you want to go ahead and repeat that. You'll find a bowler to bowl them halfway down the pitch, and you just lash it away.
And again, the line is not a bad line. That was outside the off stump, but the length is what matters to these batsmen. A little bit too short to be bowling to Gordon Greenwich.
Well, that's gone right through Greenwich, it's gone right through the keeper, and it's coming down towards the boundary. We'll just get there. Oh, well, stopped within an inch of the boundary, and Greenwich not going through for it. And in fact, umpire Duncan is keen to signal a 4 and then cancels it.
And quite right too. It was a magnificent effort by Gooch. This is the sort of example you want to see a captain performing. He charged all the way to the boundary, never gave up the race at any stage, and right on the line, or in fact just short of the line. You watch this, foot goes in, and that's not a 4.
That is an absolute beauty. Fraser's come back in this spell and produced some magnificent leg cutters.
This is a great delivery. Every now and again he produces it, beats the outside edge, and Greenwich wouldn't be all that unhappy with the shot. He would know that that was a superb delivery.
Well, he was coming down the wicket and he said he better go anyhow. He wasn't quite to the pitch, but he still swung at it and got 4. So Gordon Greenwich gets a boundary, and the West Indies get ever closer to this target of 167.
So I think he was going for the big one there too. He looked to me as if he was trying to get underneath that one and knock it up onto the roof of that Kenny Wishart stand.
Well, that's out. Leg before. Umpire Archer rules that Gordon Greenwich is leg before. Greenwich isn't too happy. Well, initially he wasn't, and I wouldn't think that's a smile of happiness.
Well, my reaction was this was out. He went for the pull shot there. It hit him, well, it hit him quite high, but that back leg's bent a little bit, and he's holding the top of his leg there. And if that's not an obvious little message to the umpire, I don't know. And this is from a slightly different angle. Well, I think that really does show that it was probably going to hit 2 inches below the middle stump. Oh, and that one does bounce, hits the gloves. And he was a little lucky to get away with that. We might have to have another look at that, or did it hit him on the chest? This one bounces unexpectedly there and nips back and hits him in the tummy, in fact. So what a good delivery that was. Really does nip back a long way, and it surprised him. He plays quite low, Carlisle Best.
Among the spectators here, Guyana loves Vivi, and they also love the West Indies. And they certainly have done it today. Just over the top of mid-wicket. Just a little chip by Best, getting the West Indies 2 runs closer. So just 4 runs now needed by the West Indies. This match does not count in the official Cable and Wireless one-day series for the Buckle Trophy. That's already been secured by the West Indies. Well, he's got it away and finished it with a boundary. So Carl Hooper finishes off this one-day international as he did the one on last week Wednesday with a boundary, walks off the ground, and the West Indies have won this one by 7 wickets. A very comfortable victory. England 166 for 9 from 49 overs. And the West Indies replying with 167 for 3 from 40.2 overs. So the West Indies have won it really easily.
Well, Greenwich there, the man with all the class. Nice contest there with Eddie Hemmings, I thought. Clayton Lambert, the local man, extravagant and talented, but I thought in the image of Roy Fredericks, not quite so sensible perhaps at the end. Now then, the bowling, not much to report, I'm afraid. Fraser perhaps still the best. His second spell was economical, but for me it was test match practice for Gordon Greenwich. The result, West Indies win by 7 wickets, and they had as many as 40 balls to spare. So the signs are now that West Indies really are improving. For England, I thought only 1 point of progress. That was the batting and the fielding of Robert Bailey. He may well get into the test side. So the Cable and Wireless Test Series, it moves on to next week at Port of Spain. England 1 up with 3 to play. We look forward to that and look forward to talking to you then. From Guyana, it's from us. Goodbye.